Hello, epic people. I have been traveling lately with my family overseas to different places for vacation, and I would like to talk about a few tips while traveling with your family so you guys don't make the same mistakes as I did. Anyway, so let's jump right in. So number one, do research on location that you're visiting. Of course, exploring and searching for new places are always fun, but sometimes you can miss a, good spot if you're not so lucky to find them while you're exploring. And, it is good to know at least what's around you if you're planning on, taking some photos or videos. Personally, I don't do any crazy in-depth research myself, but I do use two things, and one of them is our good Google Maps, where it's very easy to access and just check the area. You can actually check, photo places on Google, and it will actually show a spot that you can take good photos with. And also, if you're planning on going on a hike, you can also look at the actual terrain of the map and, be prepared for it. The second method I use is I use an app called Spots. It's seems like a new app, so it doesn't really have that many locations, but it does have some big cities and their photo location on the map with sample photos. So if you guys want to try that out, it's available on iOS, but I'm not 100% sure if it's available on Android though. And if you're planning on taking your drone, make sure it's allowed to fly the drone at the location that you're visiting. In order to check this, I use an app called Before You Fly and check the map if the location shows any restrictions or anything like that. And after that, I just do a quick Google search to make sure whatever the app is telling me is true. And also, if you're planning on doing any street photography or shoot videos in public, try to research how people feel about, getting photographed by a stranger. For example, like South Korea, the culture is it's really hard to do street photography because a lot of people get offended or don't feel comfortable if other stranger takes photos of them. So doing a little research will definitely help you in many ways. Number two, if your main purpose of traveling is to film and shoot, obviously, take everything that you need. But if you're traveling with a family, try to pack light with less gear as possible. Going back to my previous experience, I was so excited to shoot while I was visiting some new place. I basically brought my whole arsenal, but ended up not even using more than half of the things that I took on that trip. I was just carrying that heavy equipment around all day long, and all the extra gear ended up just becoming a burden. And you think you'll be using all the gear, but in reality, depending on the trip, but if it's like a family trip with kids, most likely you won't have enough time to wait for the shot or change your lenses or etc. And number three, this one is pretty important for video shooters, and that is, make sure you find out the location that you're going is either using PAL or NTSC format. And if you guys are not familiar with this, it changes the frame rate at which your camera can record. So for example, PAL is a multiple of 25 and NTSC is multiples of 30 and 24 with Sony cameras. And this is important because light refresh rate is different from country to country. And if you have the wrong frame rate when you're recording, you'll see lights flickering in your footage. For example, like here in US, the lights uses a 60 Hertz refresh rate. So you have to use NTSC. And if you're traveling to Europe, they use 50 Hertz. So you have to use PAL. So make sure you set your camera either NTSC or PAL depending on where you're going. And one thing is, I don't really know if it happens with all the cameras, but on some Sony camera, it will delete the whole memory card when you change between PAL and NTSC. So make sure you back up your footage before you change your settings. And number four, make sure you take enough memory card and some way of backing up your footages. It will be a terrible day if you run out of memory and can't take any more photos or videos. Always make sure you take enough memory card because you might not be able to purchase memory card around the area that you're traveling. And if you don't have, multiple memory cards, at least make sure you take a laptop or any other way of backing up your stuff. Personally, I take my laptop with another external hard drive where I back up all my footage from each day to my external. And yes, this is a little bit cumbersome, but this way, if I lose my card or something goes bad, at least I'll have another backup. And if my card gets full, I can just dump them on my external hard drive or my laptop to make space on the cards. And finally, number 5, make sure that you know the purpose of the trip. If you're traveling to, enjoy time with your family, make sure you make that your number 1 priority. But if you're traveling just to take photos or video, then by all means go full at it. But the reason why I'm emphasizing this is because it's really hard to concentrate on shooting photos and video while you're traveling with family. Obviously it will all depend, but especially if you have kids, it's gonna be a little harder. And in my experience a couple years ago, when I was in Italy with my family, I tried to do both, but I ended up not getting anything done. So don't try to shoot everything and to be just too focused on shooting. But if you really want to shoot, try to just shoot at the best time of the day. Shooting all the photos and videos will be nice, but try to enjoy the moment. So that's it for me today. Hopefully my video was helpful, and if you guys like my video, please give me a like and subscribe if you guys want to see more camera related content in the future. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.